floathere.com. Pain relief in the flotation tank.
Each day, we need to find a moment to be still and quiet and get reacquainted with our breath. Our breath can heal our bodies, which feeds oxygen to our cells. This ability to allow ourselves to breathe and to feel our breath fills our lives with expansion, which helps us function and gives us more natural ease in our lives. Floating is the perfect place to work on your breath. You can hear your whole body breathe. Floating weightlessly, your body is perfectly supported by a cushion of silky skin temperature liquid, freed from all sensations of gravity, temperature, touch, sight, and sound, which account for 90% of normal neuromuscular activity. You can serve and redirect vast amounts of natural physical and mental energy. The float tank is spacious, yet embryotic. Some say it feels expansive, like floating weightless in space, making it ideal for detoxing and safe for pregnant moms. With no possible threat from the outside world, your body slows down. The flood of chemicals that has jangled your nerves is eliminated. Your body chemistry returns to normal. There's this neurochemical theory. It's called the return to the womb explanation. When a floater is suspended in a dense, warm solution, enclosed in darkness, body pulsing rhythmically and brain pumping out endorphins, it's possible that his subconscious memories are stirred and profoundly deep associations called out. More interesting than the well-known alpha waves generated by the brain in moments of relaxation are the slower theta waves, which are accompanied by vivid memories, free association, sudden insights, creative inspiration. The buoyancy afforded by the dense Epsom salt solution eliminates the body's specific gravity, bringing the floater closer to an experience of total weightlessness. There is a feeling of serenity and oneness with the universe. Most people are in search of feeling of oneness with ourselves, oneness with another person, oneness with the earth, oneness with the universe, oneness with God. One of the most amazing examples of this oneness might be the bond we have in the womb with our mom. Sometimes the need for that fusion with mom's strength is very powerful. The float tank is striking and convincing analog of the womb. Since pregnant women produce up to 8 times the normal endorphin levels, the fetus experiences true prenatal bliss. Many women, after examination for physical causes, are advised to take significant life changes such as moving house or stopping work because stress is recognized as a factor in fertility. All you have to do is get a float tank in your house or go to a float tank. And who needs to stop work when you have a float tank? You just continue on and float. Medical science accepts that most of today's epidemic lifestyle diseases are stress-related. Emotional stress and the pull of gravity are proven to causes of many chronic aches and pains, as well as debilitating illnesses. While you float, your body is released from these stresses and the weight, and your brain releases mega quantities of happy endorphins, thus promoting well-being and enabling you to approach life with a refreshed mind. Floating increases physical relaxation, which leads to greater stamina and speed and strength. Floating therapy is widely used and accepted for these reasons, to release the anxiety and the stress. Research shows that floating measurably reduces blood pressure and heart rate while lowering the levels of stress-related chemicals in the body. Also, 1 hour of floating has the restorative effects of 4 to 8 hours of sleep. Just 1 hour. 1 hour of floating. This is in contrast to normal bed rest, where the local contact pressure inhibits blood flow, requiring regular adjustment of posture. When people cannot adjust their posture in bed, like illnesses or bed sores, when floating, there is no tendency to adjust, and a person can float immobile for hours. There is a significant evidence that 2 hours of floating are more restful and restorative than a full night of sound sleep, making floating a method of attaining the deepest rest that we have ever experienced. This is great for those who have insomnia. They often endure loss of sleep or disturbed patterns that can exacerbate stress. Floating therapy is an ideal technique to reduce stress in anticipation of bed rest. Many floaters fall asleep in the float tank. This is considered safe because there is no tendency to roll over when floating. Long periods of sleep are not usually possible in a commercial float tank center, but in your own home, you can hang out there as long as you'd like. Either or, it has long-lasting effects, so the person who suffers can go to bed after a float session and sleep naturally without drugs. The tank is specifically beneficial to these people in that it relieves these pains in a way that nothing else can. Floating in a pool with 800 pounds of Epsom salt allows the floater to have no weight on the spinal column. The natural tendency of the body and the floating pressure and the floating posture at the correct temperature is to dilate the blood vessels, reducing the blood pressure and maximizing blood flow, which is great if you're bedridden. Get moved into a float tank and float and feel at ease. And it eases migraine headaches, and it can even prevent future episodes. The brain activity normally associated with postural muscles is reduced to a minimum. In this state, which we can call the floating state, natural endorphins are released, thus reducing pain. In certain cases, the gravitational field counter-gravity forces in the body cause pain because of the arthritis, broken bones, or some sort of disease. Floating relieves rheumatic pains, reduces blood pressure, and fortifies the immune system while helping form joint proteins. It reduces inflammation to relieve pain and muscle cramps. The Epsom salt formula helps form brain tissue and improves distribution and absorption of oxygen and nutrients, reduces blood pressure, pulse, heart rate, and oxygen consumption. It regulates activity of 325 or more enzymes and helps form mucosous proteins and flushes proteins. Makes insulin more effective, decreases the production of cortisol. Flow in the lymphatic system is increased, boosting the immune system. The water pressure on the immersed skin is lower than the blood pressure, and thus blood flow continues in skin capillaries. The ultra-deep relaxation of floating resets the body's hormonal and metabolic balance, strengthening resistance to and accelerating recovery from the effects of stress, illness, injury, or strenuous exercise, thus reducing the risk of training. Floatation has been shown to loosen the muscles and gives an athlete or anyone a greater degree of control over their nervous system. This reduces the risk of injury during training or competition. Floating not only accelerates the recovery process, but releases vast quantities of endorphins, the body's natural painkiller. Massage therapy is also a great complement to your flotation experience. It's best to get a massage prior to floating because it will help relax and work out the little kinks and stresses in your body while you get to prepare to enter a deeper state in the tank.
Floatia.com.
Floatia.com.